you? This is Gakoi Waireri and this is Real Estate Demystified. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all those who are following me and keeping tabs with everything that we are doing. I've been doing small clips and posting small clips about real estate. I've been trying to demystify it, trying to educate everybody and trying to tell more about real estate so that we can make this industry reachable to everybody. So in the past, we've talked about, I gave you a small clip about my first time experience in real estate. I talked to you about how the show houses are supposed to look like and what show houses are. I talked to you about off-plan projects and ongoing projects. And today, I want us to cover the topic of investment in real estate, and I want to maybe guide you a bit into knowing exactly which investment to go into. Our discussion today is about why. I always believe that your why leads to your what. When you realize, or when you start knowing, or when you sit by yourself and have a conversation with yourself and come up with a reason as to why you want to do something, that reason is the one that guides you to what you need to do. So why do you want to invest in real estate? Answering that question will help you discover what and how to invest. And just as a footnote, just as something that I need you to consider and to know, is that when it comes to real estate investing, real estate is not a get-rich-quick scheme. If somebody has told you that, they have lied. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This real estate investing is actually something that is a process. It is something that requires a lot of patience. It is something that requires research. It is something that requires consultation. It is something that requires a lot of help. It is not get-rich-quick. It is not place 1,000 here and I will give you back 3,000. It is probably place 1,000 here and then 5-10 years down the line, I'll give you 1,500. That is what real estate does. But it is, when done consistently, when investment is right, real estate investing is really a good investment option. So it's something that can give you a very good return. So let's look at some of the reasons as to why people invest in real estate, why people choose to go into real estate. So for instance, when you're investing in real estate, whether it's land or an apartment or a house or whatever it is that you're investing in, there's a reason. One of the main reasons that people get into real estate is because they want to own homes, their own homes. It's because they want to stop paying rent. They want to stop giving somebody their hard-earned cash every month for years on end. You give a person every month, and when you calculate how much you've given that person per year, it is actually a number that can make you feel very bad, or a number that can make you feel like you're wasting money. You're not, because you have roof over your head. But it would be better if you had something that really didn't cost you so much. I'm not saying that when you invest now you will not have cost. No, there are some investments that will still be costly even if they are yours. But one of the main reasons as to why people go into real estate and why people buy real estate is, the first main reason is because they want to own a home. They want to feel that they have a place where they can call home, they have a place where their children can grow, or they even have a place where they can relax and they have no pressure and nobody is knocking on your door every night asking you for rent. That is one of the reasons that people buy. There's another reason why people buy. If maybe, for instance, you've been working away, you've been working out of the country and now you're relocating back. When you relocate back, maybe with the intention of staying a little while or even staying now forever, that's another reason why you maybe need to buy a house where you're going, so that you don't go there and start renting and then finding problems with the rent and then now moving from one house to another. It takes a lot of time for you to settle down. But when you do your research very well and you know that I am relocating to Mombasa, I am intending to stay in Mombasa for the next 20 years of my life, and I think in those 20 years of my life, I would actually want to live in my own house. So you go there, you do your research, you get in touch with the agents over there, you get in touch with the developers over there, buy something, stay there, and it's now your second home, because maybe you already had a home somewhere else. That's another reason why people buy. There's also another reason why people go into real estate as an investment. Investment is in many forms. The first form is rental. You want to buy so that you can rent out your units, and then you can be receiving rent on a monthly basis. You can make money. Now, remember I said it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Sometimes you buy a house and the rent you start receiving, by the time you recover the money that you bought it with, it's around 8, 10, 12 years. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, but you see, it's long-lasting. It is something that endures. It is something that goes on for a long period of time. And once you start receiving rent, if the place is a good place, if the house is a good house, you will also continue getting rent every time or every month, depending on how you've arranged yourself. So that's one way as an investment. The second one is when you're buying it to add on to your portfolio. So when you go to maybe Google and you're looking for somebody and you want to know how much they're worth, the net worth, yeah, this person is worth 500 billion Kenya shillings. This person is worth whatever amount comes to your head. You will realize that there is a percentage of that net worth that is actually real estate. These people own land, they own buildings, they own homes, they own beaches, they own islands, they own a lot. That is real estate. So there are people who actually buy, and it's actually a very valid reason for you to want to buy so that you can increase your portfolio, so that your investment portfolio can be bigger, so that your net worth can also be bigger. Instead of having liquid cash, or instead of having very many cars, those are liabilities, you want an asset. And an asset, a real estate product is a very good asset. So that's also another reason why you would call it as an investment. Something else that you want, it's for your kids. You want to buy homes for your kids. Supposing you live somewhere out of Nairobi. I'm mostly concentrating on Kenya because that's where I am. So supposing you live in Nanyuki, and you're raising up your kids in the farm, they're good, but at some point in their lives you're aware that they will come to a city, either Nairobi or Kisumu or Mombasa, and they will probably stay for 10 years or even longer when they're doing their education, when they're in their first jobs, when they're doing their first attachments. You might decide, let me buy a home so that when these kids are at that stage, they will have somewhere to live which I won't have to pay for. Because at that point, that place will be ready, or those houses will be ready, and my kids will not be paying rent. So you're buying it for them. This way, there's also a flip one. You're in Nairobi, you and your spouse, you've been working very hard, you have invested yourselves, your time, your money, and you have been really hustling in Nairobi, and now you're looking at your future and you're thinking, it's time for me now to start preparing for my retirement. So that kind of a person will want to look for a parcel of land in Nanyuki so that they can build their retirement home, go there, relax, and enjoy the sunset years of their time. That is also an investment, because I don't think you want to retire and be in Nairobi and you're paying rent from your pension. I don't think that is the plan. The plan is you are old, you have paid your dues, you have educated your kids, you have done your work, you've done the best job possible, and now it's time for you to go somewhere and relax. So these are among the reasons that you would look into when you want to invest. Maybe even you just want profits. When we were talking about off-plan purchases, I mentioned that if you are in the business of buying apartments or houses or land for the intention of profits, you buy them early on, you leave them settle for a while, then you resell. That's another reason for investing, because you want to make profit. You want this to be your business. You want to buy something at 1 shilling, give it 3 years and sell it at 3 shillings. That is also another reason. So when you know your why, you know now this is the reason why I'm looking into real estate investing. This is the reason as to why I'm looking at developers and what they're coming up with. Or this is the reason why I'm looking at people who sell land and what they're doing. So when you know the reason why, then now you go to the what. It will guide you decide what. And when you're now deciding what do you look at? What are the things that you're looking for? The first thing you're looking is location. I know some of you will say it's the budget. No, it is the location. You see, when you look at budget tells you what you have. Location tells you what you can get. But if you're looking for something depending on what you have in your pocket, it might limit you. So I think you have to sit down with the person who you're discussing this with. If you're alone, you still have to sit down with yourself and just see, so I'm buying this because I want to make money from it, because I want it to be a rental property. So where? Which parts of Nairobi? If you're in Nairobi, which parts of Mombasa, if you're in Mombasa or Kisumu, which parts of this town that I am living in, are there so many people living? Is there a very big population of people that if I have a rental unit there, it will never go vacant? So you start looking at things like that. You start deciding. So location is key. So you look, now I want for rental. So you want a place that you know that there's population and you know people prefer living in that area. You know that people will live in that area because it's near so many other things. So when you're talking about location, you see, does it align with your why? If it aligns, that's the first tick. Then there's a second thing you need to look at. Does that location present any other added value to what you have bought? So when the SGR hype was up, the SGR point was a very good selling point for anybody selling land where the SGR would come up. That was an added value. How added is up for debate. How added? But you see, that is one of the things that people were looking at. Oh, the SGR will come there might be business. Now leave the SGR. When these super highways are coming up, when the government is deciding that we will want a super highway running from Naivasha to Isiolo, let's say, for instance, that highway will mean that those people who own land along the highway, their land will now have added value, because now there's an added value to your land, because now you have better access to roads, you will have better access to other amenities, and that has added your value. So you also look at, will this appreciate or will it depreciate? Am I buying in a place that will give me value 15 years from now, or am I buying a place where 15 years from now I will be haggling and going to the city council offices to negotiate that they don't bring down my property because it's too bad? So you have to look at that also. You also have to look at what other amenities are around. Whether you're buying this as your own home or you're buying it to invest, look at what is around. For instance, if you're buying it as a home, you need a place that is near schools for your kids. You need a place that is near your worshiping place, if it's a church or a mosque, whatever it is. You need a place that is probably near some members of your families or very far away. Nobody's judging. Or very far away from your members of your family, whatever. You need to look, what is near me? So that you will know, is this adding value to the kind of life I am intending to stay in this house, or will it add value to my tenant? Let's say you're buying the rental units and you're buying anything above a 2-bedroom, anything like a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom. You know that maybe your tenant, your target for a tenant is somebody with a family. So you know they will need a school. So will they get schools nearby? And is that an advantage? Does that mean that I'm able to get more tenants or a bigger target, because at least they have access to schools, they have access to a shopping mall, they have access to a church or a mosque, they have access to what they need for their lives to become better. So you also look at that. You look at how's the security. If this is something that I intend a client to use to come in as a tenant, will I be able to guarantee the security? Will I be able to tell them that if you're dropped at your stage, if you're using public transport, if you're dropped at the stage, you can walk safely home, or if you're driving, you can drive without anybody hijacking you? How's the security in this area? Have you put your tenant in a bad spot? Have you put yourself in a bad spot? Or are you looking to see if the place is very good, it is adding value to your client, it is adding value to yourself? All this has to do with location. So now you've decided that is the location that you want. Now you look at your budget. Because I'm sure when you're looking at location, you have 2 or 3 options. You look at your budget. When you look at your budget, you also look at what is available. So you have a budget of 3 million. And I have seen there's a property in Riruta, there's a property in Ruaka, and there's a property in Embakasi. These properties, one of them has units that are ranging from 3 million and above, but the others, they are a bit high. Can I negotiate? Because even if I want Ruaka, and probably Ruaka does not have anything for 3 million, but they have around 4.2, can I negotiate? Can I get a better payment term? Will my budget fit into it? If it will not, will my second option, which now has units that are going for 3 million, will it satisfy me? Will it meet my needs? Will it be what I am looking for? Then now your budget comes in. Now when it comes to budget, there are many ways. You have saved probably, or maybe your employer is actually giving you a loan to buy a unit or build a unit, or maybe you have access to a mortgage at a very good rate. You're looking at all this and you're seeing with what I have and with what I am looking to buy, those two are matching. My location, my why, my location, and my budget, they are matching. But then there are other things you need to look at also. You need to look at the ownership. So you've gone, you've seen, this is the property I want, I am buying it to rent, I am buying it because I want to get tenants in. It is a block of units, the land is 1 acre, there's one title for this land. So how will I own this unit? This is actually a very long conversation that I intend to have with probably a legal person who will come and advise us on this ownership process. But I can tell you what I know. If you're buying a unit that is in a block of apartments, you will not get a title. Not personally. Because remember, that land that the block is sitting on has one title. So all of you cannot have an original one title. And there will be one original title that will be commonly owned by everybody who lives in those units or who owns those units. And then everybody will get a sublease. So you want to see how is the ownership process. So if I buy into this, when I get to that sublease, is this something I can use as security somewhere? If I want maybe it to be security for a loan, is it something I can use it later? Is it something I can transfer to somebody? You want to know how is the ownership? How will I own? Is this land a leasehold land? Is it a freehold? Will I be required to pay taxes? Will I be required to pay land rates? How is the ownership? Can I own it? Can I transfer it to somebody else? Can I transfer it to my child? That is also something you need to look at, especially if you know why you are buying the unit. Or even why you are buying the land. When you're buying the land, you want to see which county does this land belong to. Because we have a boundary thing right now that the counties are there. You're not sure whether when you're in Kahawasukari, you're in Kiambu or Nairobi, and then when you're in Githurai 44, are you in Nairobi now? So you also have to know where are you, which county are you, which county represents you. When you want to do any development on the piece of land that you have bought, or when you want to sell the house that you have bought because you had bought it for profits, which county are you in? What laws are there that govern your selling, or what laws are there that govern your development of the land? So those are also some of the things that you need to know. Now, if it's an apartment block, you have bought it, it's finished, your tenant has moved in. Whose responsibility is it to maintain the quality of your unit? Is it your responsibility? Are you the one who's supposed to come in every month and collect rent? Are you the one who's supposed to come in weekly and take the garbage? Are you the one who's supposed to come and hire a guard at the gate? Or is there a company that has been formed to take care of this? I know for a fact that most of the people who are building real estate blocks or projects that have apartments, they actually already have that covered. So they will give you a unit and they will tell you, once we sell to you the unit and we give it to you in ownership, for the first 6 months, we will be the interim managers. Or for the first 1 year, depending on how big the units are or how many they are. For the first 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, we will manage this for you. So you will not need to haggle with them about security or water or electricity or garbage collection or land rents and rents. You will not have to do all that because they will do it for you. But this is something you need to know beforehand. So because you have already identified why, you have already identified what. So you've already gone to this project and you want to see how you will get it done. Then, if you're buying from a project that is either off-plan or ongoing, you need to know who is doing the project. You need to know if this project is being done by the government, if this project is being done by an NGO, if the project is being done by a private developer. You need to know why, because you need to know the quality of works. You also, when you know who's building and when you know who is working on it, you kind of tell quality and you also tell ownership. You also tell, how will I be able to own this unit? How will I be able to use it as mine? How will the name be transferred from X developer's company to my name? How will it be transferred to me? Is there a cost? So, I know when I have mentioned costs, some of you are wondering, are there other costs from this? Watch my next video and I will tell you what other costs come with selling units at 2.9. There are other costs. The 2.9 may be going a bit to 3.4 when you do all your costs, but I will tell you that on another video. So real estate is pretty. Real estate is looking good for everybody, and I know there's a lot of people who say a lot of things about real estate. I remember this time when we were told the bubble is bursting along Mombasa Road, because you would see a lot of developments on Mombasa Road, and after a while they were empty, they were vacant, they were not occupied, and people would say, you see, they bought this and now, well, it might take a little while. As I said, it is not a get rich quick scheme. It might need you to be a little bit patient, but it might take a longer time for you to reap back, but you will reap back at the end. And remember when I said you also have to look when you're buying a unit. Like for instance, there are people who bought those units on Mombasa Road, and yes, it took them a lot of time to get tenants for their units. But then when they were buying them, the idea of Airbnb had not come. And now the idea of Airbnb has come, and you will find that along Mombasa Road, you will find most units are being rented out as Airbnbs, even making more money than renting out on a monthly basis to a common tenant. So if you look at all these things, they will direct you to where and to what, so that you don't go with the wind. So that when you hear people are buying land in Nakuru, because it is somewhere near where the train station will be, you just don't run there. You need to know why you're buying. Because if you do not know why, you will go with the wind. And if you go with the wind and there are problems, you will find that that person who knew exactly why they were buying, even if there are challenges in the purchase, even if there are challenges in the investment, they still stick with it. But you, because you didn't have a proper reason as to why, you will find that you will get very demoralized, you will get demotivated, you will get actually angry, and you will start suing, and you will start going to court because you have not, your purchase did not align with your why. It's good for you to sit, it's good for you to consult, it's good for you to research, it's good for you to know why you're buying, and then it will lead you to what. So that when you're buying in real estate, whether it's land, whether it's property, when you're buying anything in real estate, you actually have the right reason and the right motivation. So in the next video, we will continue discussing more things about real estate. We will continue learning, and thank you so much for joining me. And you can always reach me down below, my number and my email address. You can continue reaching me, and I will answer most of these questions, and I will help you, demystify the real estate, as the show says. I'm still recording in Oyster Pearl, General Mathenge, Westlands. A little bit less noise today, I hope. I hope this was clearer than the last video. A little bit less noise, and construction is ongoing. And soon we are about to finish the show house and call you in so that you can come see how a show house looks like. I will post videos, and you will see exactly what happens in real estate, okay? Thank you so much. God bless. Be aware. Get learning. Bye-bye.